Welcome to My Favorite CX, a podcast that celebrates exceptional customer experiences. To listen to today's, please choose from one of the following options.
Welcome to My Favorite Customer Experience. I'm joined this week by Ben Hill from Ask More Coaching. Ben, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for the invite.
More than welcome. Well, we're former colleagues after all. So Ben and I worked at NICE, so one of the leaders in customer experience, until I left and took a more conventional route. And Ben took the plunge and moved away from the world of customer experience and corporate life to launch his own performance coaching business in 2024 to help unlock the potential in people and help individuals to reach personal and professional goals. Ben, that's quite the leap and quite the lane change.
Yeah, it was. I think my mission really revolves around helping the person I was now, Chris. So that's the ambitious, high performing individuals where, particularly stressed male executives who are looking to they're approach the crossroads of their life, maybe questioning their purpose or why, looking to transform their lives or career. So for me, it was more to align with my values and purpose and strengths a little bit more, to take what I'd learned and absorbed in my corporate life and in CX and bring it into the coaching world to live a little bit more autonomously and under my own steam.
I can certainly empathize with that. In terms of, I guess, the move into coaching, obviously, we talked about your experience in customer experience.
Mm.
It's a very personal customer experience for you now, what you provide.
Yeah, exactly. It's intrinsically motivated, or I'm intrinsically motivated, by what I do in terms of guiding clients to break free from the things that were holding me back. And I haven't been shy in sharing all of that in some of my content. And it's really about breaking free from sort of the self-doubt and overwhelm to develop a bit more clarity and confidence and purpose, really, to perform better. And that's not just at work, but at home as well, to regain control over your life, your healthy, create healthier habits and career as well. So what I do now is work on that one-to-one basis with those with the person I was, but also an organization would bring me in. The conversations I've been having are around boosting morale, increasing retention, well-being, to ultimately impact profit margins as well. So a lot of awareness there.
So you're seeing it, or companies are seeing it as a potential to bring you in to enhance that employee experience, which in turn, one, I guess, helps retention and helps them with their staff, but also has a positive impact on their customer experience.
Exactly right. And that's what excites me about when you reached out, our conversation and the parallels of coaching and customer experience, and how I could bring in some of my strengths, because we're ultimately delivering a transformation, right? A personal transformation or organizational transformation, and a powered by sort of personal impact. So it's, I'm seeing clients gain, confidence and being able to take control, and that's incredibly rewarding. And ultimately, that's what we want to empower. In my past life and in your world, you want to empower your customers to do as well. So we both offer bespoke solutions, and we tailor those to our clients. And I think watching them thrive keeps things fresh and fulfilling for sure.
And I guess if I lean on a customer experience buzzword of hyper personalization, realistically, that's precisely what you're doing. So if I came to you or anyone came to you with a need, you're going to tailor it exactly to what people are looking for.
Exactly. And I put my own spin on things because I believe in sort of challenging the status quo a little bit. Hence why I took the break and, ultimately wanted to make a living and a life that I didn't want to sort of run away from. And make a earn a crust doing something I love. And so I encourage people to challenge the status quo, and that comes in the coaching as well. So it's like we want to encourage straight talking and to that no nonsense communication in order to get positive feedback for change. So it's value led and fact based, and I had a bit of humor to it as well. Um, Having direct communication and interactions with people makes engagement more interesting and enjoyable. And I think the outcomes create a really collaborative environment, which ultimately supports growth and accountability, I think.
And I think one of the things I took away from a podcast you appeared on recently was openness and people being prepared to talk. And if I have a parallel to the world of customer experience, if I go and speak with a customer and they're not open and they just give you surface level, well, the surface level transformation is literally not going to be there because
Hmm.
you're going to only be able to tackle what essentially they've given you. But if they're open, if customers are open, and in your scenario, your customers are open to talking about what's holding them back and what they're feeling, then ultimately they can make progress.
Exactly right. It's creating a framework of accountability to help people grow, to get them to where they need to be. So I think having that open, honest, candid platform, being authentic, holding space with no judgment is really key.
And I think also it helps being an advocate for them as well. I mean, I'll do that with a customer where I'll be on their side, but also understanding what it is they want to get out of this. And to your point, asking those questions that may be slightly uncomfortable of, well, why do you do it this way? Why have you done it this way? Do you need to carry on doing that moving forward?
Hmm. Yeah, agreed. And the sort of questions that you're armed with, the open questions when being trained in um, in a sales role, for example, the what, when, where, how, why questions are really powerful, and understanding what the problem is we're trying to solve, where people are at, where customers are at, and where we need to get to, and that's just being open and honest there with no, I think having no attachment to the outcome as well, because that can come across needy and ingenuine and false. So removing that, letting that go is also key to having that reciprocated.
And as we're moving through 2025 at a scary rate of knots already, what are you seeing that's exciting you most with where you can help customers?
So I believe that I was speaking to somebody yesterday at an event actually, and I think it's how organizations align um, with their people to drive customer experience. And I guess because and that fits into my world because it's about creating happier people, and happier people mean happier customers. So some people, businesses, and organizations will need that framework in order to have a set of tools really to enable and drive a more productive and improved mindset. So without that, I think there is a little bit of a risk that things can become stale, progress stops, and that will mean that you could go backwards, right, where everyone else is going forward. So growth through helping businesses grow through increased loyalty, both on the customer side, but on in your internal customers, your employee side. So creating sort of well-being will help drive retention and ultimately increase profit margins as well. So working with people to create sort of resilient strategies and mindset strategies within organizations is the big thing. And you're seeing that more and more. This makes my job harder, but with coaching platforms and training and development budgets that people now have at their disposal, but more work needs to be done.
I think you said something very pertinent there about not standing still. And if we think about sports teams analogies, it's often said in like the Premier League that if you're standing still, then you're going backwards. And I think this process of improvement never stops. Just because you've finished one thing, that doesn't mean that it's complete. Now go and look for that next
Mm.
improvement. And it might be on a completely different personal topic, but you can keep exploring, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a motto for life, to be honest, Chris, because you have your goals, annual goals, life goals, whatever that looks like. The people that I work with often will extend our time together beyond the initial transformation program because there's a compound effect to realizing these gains, and you were never the finished article. So once we have that self-awareness, as any organization should, that we need to have a finger on the pulse and always be looking inwards as well to what next. And it doesn't have to be massive, huge, life-changing, leave your job experiences or goals that people are reaching for. It could just, in my world, be looking to show up as a better, more productive employee. But that's going to have knock-on effects to your health, to your mindset, to your family. Once you've established that and you've got a good routine and pattern, what's next? Because there is always something.
And what's next for us is going to be a slight pause. We're going to place our listeners on hold, and then we're going to come back to this conversation in a moment where Ben is going to talk us through a favorite customer experience.
Your current wait time is 72 minutes. To hear options to be connected to a favorite customer agent sooner, please dial 9 on your keypad now.
Welcome back to my favorite customer experience. I am joined today with Ben Hill, and Ben has been walking us through his transition from out of the world of customer experience and into the world of coaching and personal growth. Ben is now going to share with us a favorite customer experience. So Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yes. So there are a few. So I'm gonna have a bit of a politician's answer, but I'll give you a specific one as well. But I think customer experience is all about evoking emotion. If we can be emotive, if we can feel and attach an emotion to something, we're going to keep coming back. I believe that it really is about, I think Gen AI is a really hot topic, right, at the moment. I think everybody talks about having, it's a buzzword, it's real, and it's got some great benefits. There are lots of discussions around how best to utilize this for the greater good, and there are AI ethics boards and all sorts of things. We saw a similar challenge with chatbots. It's like, right, let's be quick to stick a chatbot in and plaster over something, and then the cracks that appear, right? It's not smooth or seamless. And I think we've had so many of those. When you do get a really good customer experience, then it end to end that sticks in your mind. I think the battle will be won with the companies that can differentiate by offering the best, genuine, and most authentic human to human conversations with customers and their people, because they're internal communication systems as well. And that can be via digital, phone, or face-to-face sales or support, whatever it is. And you remember those, whether it's a hotel brand or a supermarket, you will go back. And if you have a crappy experience somewhere or someone's rude, that's it, right? You leave a review. There's nowhere to hide. You'll tell people. So for me, it was a well-known insurance brand, and with insurers, every year you get a that renewal through that's always 15 times higher than what you're paying, and and then you phone them up, and it is just is what it is, and then you have to shop elsewhere, and you get it for half the price. So this time it was I needed to change my car, and it's not a very exciting one, but the nature of it was that I was able to, lo and behold, go onto their online platform. It took my details. I was then connected with an bit of automation, a bot that recognized my details, had all the had the next question to my answer, was able to follow that through, leverage my data, connect me with a human who then had access to all of my data that I didn't have to repeat and they didn't have to input. They also then, I was able to make a payment through that as well. This was all done asynchronously through WhatsApp, which was even better. I didn't have to drop out of the conversation or relog in or go online. They were connected me back with the agent, back into the bot conversation to then leave some feedback. And all of that took about 10 minutes, and I put it off for about a week, just through being a bit anxious and the ache of the pain of doing that historically. So that was one that really stuck out in my mind, just how a really good, seamless, well thought through customer journey and experience should be, because there are many that we have that just ultimately end in frustration and have us, calling up and putting huge amounts of pressure on the team in the contact centers and doing emails and whatnot. So yeah, that was really positive.
And I guess I think you kind of gave it away there when you were talking about how you put this off for a week. You were anticipating something being high effort, high frustration, and it being an experience you weren't going to enjoy in any way.
Yeah, who wants to phone up their insurance company or go online to their insurance company, and who you do it once a year and you probably forget your login details. But alas, it was all saved on my device, and they'd I mean, most places have got a. Well, I say that most places have got an easy forgotten password process. It's one of the top contact center reasons, I think. So it's surprising that not everybody sort of has that, but that would have been no doubt seamless. So yeah, it was a painless experience.
And based on your previous experience of working in the world of CX,
Hmm.
do you find that makes you a more demanding customer because you know what's possible?
Yes, I think it does. I'm reasonable. I've had a sneak peek behind the door, behind the curtains, and I've seen what's possible, but I've seen where a lot of businesses are. And that, when I said earlier about buzzwords, it frustrates me when companies go too fast without putting too much thought into it. And it's sort of, square peg, round hole scenarios where they paper something over with a big shiny bit of tech without having the strategy behind it. Um, and really using, there are tools out there that can help you leverage and understand all your data to make that, to leverage that big, expensive, shiny customer facing kit and make it work. And some smart people like yourself to bring in and do that to ensure that. So I get frustrated when it's not done properly, which is my bugbear. And when I can't get through to somebody if I need to, because I go back to that having we're in the age of automation and AI, so having genuine conversations, that's going to be the kicker. They're the things that you're going to remember.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the things that you said there actually was how seamless everything was, and that's one of the things that we always look to when we're pitching the CX Dream is that every conversation is contextual and the agent has everything, but rarely does it actually happen. And I think for you to remember something as mundane as an insurance renewal tells you how exceptional it was. And I guess I usually ask, does it influence your behaviors? Do you find yourself recommending this insurer as much as everyone loves a conversation about what car insurance do you use? Do you find yourself telling people about the experience?
I do, and it's more than that though, because yeah, it's mundane, it's an insurance company, but an insurance company now will have multiple layers of insurance underneath. So how best can they serve me with upsells? So all of a sudden it becomes a lot more than just a simple query or car insurance inquiry. It becomes, a sort of almost like a life brand where they can cover me for multiple cars or my home insurance, pet insurance now. So bike insurance, that it is really important, and I think a lot of people forget about that. So
And did they take this opportunity to upsell any other products, or is it something that they've potentially missed an opportunity on?
yeah, they missed it. They missed it. Yeah.
Intriguing. So an almost perfect customer experience, apart from they didn't think to upsell based on it being good.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's a bit of training on their side. So through the feedback, I wouldn't have put that like, haha, you missed an opportunity. But effectively, well, none of us like being sold to, but we're all selling something. So that we need to accept that. So if they'd open that opportunity up or sent some information over or put that in the feedback, then that's another thing in terms of using customer data in a smart way. Hey, Mr. Hill, have you got any other cars in your household? When are you thinking about renewing your home insurance or your pet insurance, things like that? We've got a really good deal for you. You're an existing customer. You're on our number one priority. Would you like to find out more? Part of me is going, but if they're a smart salesperson, then they're going to want to seek that no, so then they can turn it into a yes. Hey, Mr. Hill, get it. I've caught you off guard. What would make you comfortable? What would make it a yes?
And you had a great experience there, so you're more inclined to think, well, this company can help me. And if you are Ben's insurer, then obviously you've just noted he clearly has a house. He mentioned a pet, he mentioned a bike, so there's plenty of other insurance on the table for you.
Yes. So if you are an insurance company or a robber, then I have all those things.
On that note, you said everyone is selling something. Obviously, it's a new world for you in coaching. Where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn is where I live effectively. So it's linkedin.com/in/Ben Hill one, or the easy way is to go on LinkedIn and search for Ben Hill and or ask more coaching. So that's the big one. I've got my website, www.askmorecoaching.co.uk. So either of those or contacting you directly, Chris, because you have my mobile number as well.
That would also work. We'll put some QR codes up on that. And if you follow Ben on LinkedIn, be sure to like, comment, and share his comments or his content as well. That helps obviously boost his brand. Ben, thank you very, very much for joining us on my favorite customer experience.
Been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for listening, folks. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to My Favorite CX. Your listenership is important to us. On your keypad, please press a number between 1 and 5 to rank how much you've enjoyed your experience.